What is going on, everyone? Happy Monday. How y'all doing? We got a Wyman in the house. Almanai, Queen of Blades. Hi, Queen of Blades. Logic, Blue Eye Devil. How you guys doing?
Queen of Blades? Who is that?
Yeah, somebody that joined our Discord recently. How's
Queen of Blades, huh?
how's everyone
Sounds
doing
dangerous.
today? All right, sweet. How you doing, Jax?
All right, man. I'm just getting into this 2.0, figuring it out like I guess everyone is, right?
Hmm.
And I like it. I have to say, back then I said, let's give it a shot, before we just all just quit. And I'm glad that I did. And because it's refreshing, it's something new, something different. It's like a new game to figure out and master. So I'm enjoying it. Looking forward to more and more in the future here. It's a roller coaster ride.
All right, so for everybody that's just starting here, I'm gonna pop a question here in the poll, in the chat, and you guys, I want you guys to answer this question: are you liking 2.0? Yes, no.
Obviously there's some things that you don't like, and that's with any version. I think there's things you don't like, but for the most part, I'm happy with it.
Yep, yep.
It's very balanced now, I think.
I'll let everybody answer, and then I will give my 2 cents. All right. I apologize if you guys hear me coughing a little bit. I'm trying to get through this cold. Seems to be following me around.
Wyman, you're with Iron, right?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not with Iron.
I said Wyman Rodrigo.
Yes, Wyman. Yeah, he's one of the crew from Iron. Yep.
Blue Eye Devil. Who are you with now?
I like what Amanai said. He said, "I like parts. He's with Iron now."
Oh, you're with Iron too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Amana said, "I like parts. I dislike parts. Overall, it's fun, but don't think it was needed." Not gonna agree with you on the last part. Lefteris Apostolakis.
Wow, what a name.
The Apostolakis sounds Greek. Hopefully, I'm not wrong. Good troop buffers, except Gil aren't even viable no matter the cost. On the
I don't know.
On the true buffing thing, I have a suggestion from Vessi that I'm going to be sharing with you guys later today. Yeah, it is Greek. There you go. I hit it right on the nail.
I think you can have a lot of success with troop compositions. I think that's fine. You just got to do the right thing with the right gear.
What's up, Berserker? How you doing, my friend? It's been a while, huh? Kurt, look at that. All right, guys, so let's close the poll, and then I'll give you guys my 2 cents. Okay, so the poll here says 62%. Well, we had 8 votes, right? Not that many. But 62% liking it, 37 no. I'm having fun. I'm having quite a bit of fun with the formation system, with theory crafting on it. Okay? That's been the most fun that I've had so far in 2.0. There are things that they're still gonna implement that I have no idea how it's gonna play out. Mainly being the no need for tiling like we are used to. That is my main concern on how that's gonna be implemented. That's gonna keep the game dynamic and fun. But other than that, the formation system has grown on me. Still too.
Yeah.
It's still early.
Yeah.
But it's been fun.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. It's growing on me day by day. You love the game. You've always loved the game. That's why you were here. Yeah, they kind of threw a wicked curveball at us and changed the whole thing up, but I'm with it.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I've been having a lot of fun. So one thing that I thought was going to be very hard to do, and I haven't really seemed to find it that difficult, has been to level up my commanders. It hasn't been.
That I'm not with at all. That is like super streamlined and easier now. Oh my god, I can't even. I can't. I don't have enough commanders to level up. They're all leveled up so fast. It's the 40 to 50 that's a struggle.
Exactly, but 240 was. But getting to 40 has been quite easy, hasn't it?
Quite easy. I mean, it's like super fast.
Yeah.
And that's great.
Yeah. And the thing is, you can say, well, but you guys are using, welled out commanders. No, I'm not. At the end of the stream, for whoever stays on, I'm going to be going over one of my accounts. I've decided which commanders I'm going to use on it. So now I got to streamline all my gear, which is still the 1.0 gear. I'm using 1.0 gear on everybody, and I'm still leveling up quite quickly. So yeah, leveling up has been easy. The thing is, they have said, in one of those announcements that they did, make the tiles and mobs easier because people were complaining about how difficult they were. Hopefully it stays that way, or if they increase the difficulty, it's not like it was a few months back when they first introduced the whole formations idea in the first PvE. So we'll see. All right, guys. So I have 5 things that I'm gonna talk to you about today. The first 2 are gonna be going over. First, I'm gonna go over Dane, then Lurtz, and then the rest is going to be a surprise. Okay.
Yeah. And before we get into everything, we should also kind of let everyone know we've been kind of MIA because we wanted to go live and start getting back into doing content and weekly videos, podcasts, streams, tier lists, all these things. We wanted to experience the game for a while. I know a lot of other streamers and content providers have jumped in from day one and just thrown all this information at you. We wanted to really test it a lot more and really fully kind of, as much as we can, understand what we're talking about before we give you and disseminate all this information to you. We wanted to kind of be experts as much as we can before we started getting back into providing all this information on what we found out. So we did a lot of testing and all that, but we're going to start coming out with, the weekly schedule again, like we did before, where the 2 or 3 or 4 times a week we're going live, or we're having videos or account reviews or tier lists or podcasts, talking the game, all this stuff. All that stuff's going to go back to regular scheduling now. We've had some time to get in the game and play with it, and we know what we're talking about a lot better, so we can give you better information.
100%. All right, so let's get to it. I have quite a few screens to share with you guys because I was thinking of a way that would be easy for me. With having the formation system now, you have to think, if you have at least one formation that you're playing with, it's 4 commanders, right? 4 skill sets. That's 16 pieces of gear and all the rest. That's for one formation. Now, if you're running 2 or 3, which that's what I'm running on my account, it's not willed out by any means. I'm going to show you to you guys at the end of the stream for whoever stays. And I'm going to be trying to be running 3 formations to see how they play out. There's a lot of stuff to remember where things go season over season. So I've created a spreadsheet, and it's where I'm going to be hosting every single build that we show to you guys on stream, also on the Discord channel. The reason why I decided to go with the spreadsheet is because it's very easy to remove things and add things on the go whenever we find a new information. So let me share with you guys so you have an idea what I'm talking about. Yes, that's this one. Right here, okay? Look at all this Dane content right here. Look how beautiful that is. You guys see all the data, all the information? Let me know if you guys can see it.
Spreadsheets. Oh boy, here we go.
Beautiful. There's no way you guys can love all this emptiness right here. Okay? Just wait until you guys see what's inside. So every single, I mean, at least for now, this is gonna be a work in progress. So for now, there's 6 elements to each of the builds. Okay, there is the most important stats, skills, gear, troops, tips, and formation ideas for each commander. We're gonna go over each one of them, like, for every single commander to create this little routine, but also to get you guys accustomed to how these spreadsheets will work. Okay, nice thing is whenever you want to look at a specific section of the guide, you can just click on the left column here. There's a plus and a minus for you to close them up and to make it easier for your navigation. Okay, so starting with Dane. Dane is a physical damage dealer. So if you're new to the game, hopefully you guys are gonna pick up on this quite easily. If you're an OG, then many of these things is already gonna be familiar to you. But it's gonna be very useful for you to use because there's a second surprise that we have here. I'm gonna show it to you guys after I start sharing some of these things. Okay, a lot of stuff to cover today. So don't forget, guys, we got 28 people watching right now. We got 11 likes. We have a goal in every stream, which is to 1-to-1 ratio, views and likes. So don't forget to hit that like button. Okay. Also,
you want to show the server we're on and all that before we get into Dane and Lurtz?
To show what?
The server.
The server that we're on?
Yeah, give like an update.
Sure, we can do that really quick.
Quick little update so everybody can know where we're at, what we're doing. Our guys, the guys in our season, whatever.
See the way.
You have Bill Fernie's account in this server, right?
Yep. Let's see. Let me just pull it up.
And your account, your Evo account's where?
It's in bag end.
It's in bag end?
Yep. Okay,
How did that happen, bro? What the hell?
Too many accounts to remember where I registered, so that's what happened.
Oh my god.
So
I thought you sold all your accounts except those 2.
No, no. Oh, well, yes and no, I'll explain later.
So we are in Show the Map.
Yeah, so the Pirates of Middle-earth are still playing RP. Did you know many RP teams have gone NRP, but we've stuck it out. We're still in RP.
Yeah, but we're never going to go non-RP, I don't think. And many have from non-RP go back and forth between RP and NRP. So it's like 50-50.
Yeah.
So we are Gundabad, and you want to show the map, the whole map. It is currently, I think, it's Gundabad, Erebor against the rest. Mordor and Variags and Rune are kind of nobody's there. So it's really just Gunda kind of versus everyone. I mean, Erebor are an ally, but they've yet to enter battle. And we are fighting. Oh, Angmar's with us too. I'm sorry, Angmar. Angmar is active. They don't have a lot of people, but they're doing well. So we're against Arnor, Linden, and Rohan and Gondor against Angmar and Gunda and Erebor.
I mean, it's a pretty divided server. Basically one side, 2 alliances, one versus the other. So we'll see how that plays out. We've been taking quite a few keeps recently. We've taken Dagorland just yesterday, I believe. We took Emin Muil from Rohan just recently. We're moving south towards Osgiliath. Gonna make a home in Osgiliath there. Potato Head is missing his house.
We'll see if we can take Osgiliath. I don't think Gondor is just gonna stand by and let us do that.
Oh, definitely not. But that's that's the goal, right? And then we have some.
We're only.
Go ahead.
We're only. Pirates have been downsized. We're only 100 man. We're a solo warband now. We downsized from 400 for 2.0 for many reasons. But next season we're going to be merging with probably one other warband, talking to several different warbands. We don't know who, so we'll probably go from 100 to 200 and then just stay there the rest of the time we play the game, I think.
Good. That sounds good. So you got Linden moving south, right, from their home base. Linden, Arnor, Rohan, and Gondor, and Lothlorien, they're all allies. Erebor decided to side with us. I don't know, it's because they know how, they know the history of the pirates, and being at the backyard, being basically alone on the east. Either that or diplomacy happened, and then Erebor still sided with Gundabad. The Pirates have gone Gundabad this season for a few reasons, and yeah,
You want to show the
this is the
war
map right
bands?
now. Yeah.
You can see the list of culprits here.
So we got Poem at the top, Rage,
We do.
Rangers against Greater Evil, led by Cap in second place. You got Hope.
Supreme leader Raul. Rage is by Cap. Cap is early. He's a very nice guy so
Yep.
far.
The Farias, Jai
Hope.
Red,
Who's leading Hope?
Jired, something like that.
Oh, Jired, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
You got Stiff Beards by Revan.
Revan's been around a while.
Then you got Golden Linden by Golden Bear. Interesting.
Who's the leader of Golden?
Golden Bear.
I don't know him.
No, could this be somebody that ran with Bear in the past? I mean, 'cause a lot of those.
Maybe.
No, he hasn't. A lot of the Bear names usually come from that Bear group, but nope.
He's
Then you
not
have
very much Gold Bear.
Yeah, you have Free, led by Luthien and Arnor.
Free.
And you
Luthien?
Then you got Angmar Squad by by Huge Jazz.
Huge. Okay.
You got
Angmar.
New J.
Huge.
and
Oh,
Gund-
huge ass.
you got
There's only 62 in Angmar.
you got New J, and then you got
That's a Korean outfit.
Yep.
Yeah, they're good.
they are a good team. So see, even Omanai knows that Angmar team. Oh no, he knows the Angmar. No, he knows the Angmar, not the Gundabad. And you got Taco, the Lothlorian team.
Taco?
Yep.
Who they
And
got? Who's their leader?
You got Greg Hotspur, that's their leader.
Okay.
Then you got Bad Boys by Hoffer.
How many does
Hoffer.
Ariags have?
They have 57.
Oh, like
Yeah.
maybe like 10 actives I've seen
Yeah.
from them.
Then everything
maybe
else
they're all
is just
farmers.
smaller groups from different.
Yeah, smaller groups.
Yep.
Yeah.
But so
Kind of dead.
so far everything's looking fine, and Danny looks good. All right, we're gonna come back to this season later in the live, so stay tuned, guys. Okay. Now, for the matter that many of you are here, let's go over the two commanders that we're talking about today. So, what's up, Luke Thomas, Dallas J? Glad you guys made it. So, Dane, being a physical damage dealer, we talked about this before, but the two most important stats that you're looking for when you're building your Dane is the first thing is damage. Second thing is the attack stat. Okay? To put it very simply, whenever I have more information related to stats, I'm going to share this with you guys later so you guys can keep coming back and referencing these whenever you feel like it. Okay? This is going to be available for everyone that wants to use it. Okay? So that's why I said I'm using a spreadsheet, because whenever I have some new information that I want to share, instead of having to do an announcement specifically about that thing, I can just come here and you guys will see it. Okay, so that's the very first thing that you guys need to look into. Physical damage dealers, you want to boost first the damage and then the attack. Okay. The reason for that, if you're questioning it, we don't have the entire formula yet, but just to put it simply, it's your attack minus whoever you're attacking's defense. You're going to subtract their defense from your attack. Whatever's left over, then the rest of the formula plays out with the attack being multiplied by the damage and some other more mathematical stuff. So that's why it's key that the damage is always as high as possible, but you don't want to neglect the attack, because also less the attack means it gets multiplied less by the damage and so on. Okay? Very simply. We'll talk about sets in just a little bit, Kurt. That's a good question, okay? In terms of skills, the council, remember, if you've been watching some of the live streams or the videos I've been putting out, we have a council in our Discord server with Almanai is one of them. He's here. We got Vessi, we got Umbra, we got Jerican, we got Daddy, we got...
Daddy? Oh, hell nah, homie. I ain't calling no fucking dude Daddy.
He's not mine. That's just his Discord name.
You don't have to call him. I call him D. Or
I think he changed his name to Ammon, so that's probably why he did it. He knows he's gonna be called out here. So, give me a second. Where else we have? We have got MGS. We got Pride is in the house there too. We got, yeah, I already mentioned Almanac. So we got a lot of very smart people in this group, and there are two builds that we were. Let me actually need to hide this.
Hey, Anton, what's up, man? Well, you haven't heard me in a while because, like I said earlier, kind of a disclaimer before we get started is we haven't been actively putting out videos and content like everyone else is and just jumping in immediately head first. We wanted to test everything, really put together, you know, some knowledgeable people, do a lot of testing, get some experience with this before we started to give you guys the information. We want to know what we're talking about because we need to tell you the correct information so it's useful to everybody. And so that's why we kind of took a little while to get up and going here for 2.0. We needed to test it and get some experience and know what we're talking about.
Yep.
But we're back.
All right, so going back to that very first thing, I had the game popped up so you guys couldn't see. So, like I said, for Dane and any physical damage dealer, commander, your most important stat is damage. After that is attack. You guys can see that on the screen now. Okay. So we've been discussing two different builds. Oh, sorry, Atlas Wolf is also in the council group. I needed to mention him because we discussed two different focus builds, especially for the low spenders. So you can find there's two builds. There's build number 1 highlighted in red here, build number 2 highlighted in green. And if you look closely, they are focusing two different skill sets. Okay.
I see blue, purple, and yellow on my screen. Yep. I see no red.
Oh, I mean the red is just the background, just highlighted in the back.
Oh,
yeah.
Pink.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, it's a very light red. It might look pink. Yeah. So.
Got it.
There's 3 levels to this build, and we're gonna try to provide 3 different levels for all the commanders that we put out here. For if there's any reason why there isn't one, it's probably because it doesn't make sense to jump, to divide when the jump might be a little too close. Okay. The first build is the regular R5 Dane. Dane, for him to shine, you really want to at least have him at R5 because that will give you access to his R5 skill, which is King Under the Mountain, which is a very good skill. Okay, let's talk about build number 1. This is just talking about skills. Okay, no gear, nothing else, just skills. First point of location, and this is the reason why we've separated these two, because build number 2 focuses more on Ironfoot, where build number 1 focuses more on Durin's Blood. And we can talk about this later on a separate video as to why you would choose one over the other, but I'm just presenting it to you guys today. Build number 1 is you put your first point, right? Remembering to max out a skill, it's 10 out of 10 allocations, 3 points per skill. So you're gonna put 1 point into Durin's Blood. Then second, you're gonna max out King Under the Mountain. And third, you're gonna put 3 points into Ironfoot, and then the rest into Durin's Blood. So you max Durin's Blood out. Okay, that's the basic build 1. Basic build 2 is basically the same thing but the opposite. You're gonna put the first point into Durin's Blood, then second, to max out King Under the Mountain, then 8 points into Ironfoot, and 4 points then into Durin's Blood. Okay, why not max out Durin's Blood? The conversation that we had in the council was Durin's Blood doesn't always proc. It won't always hit the 2 formations as described every single round. And we had a discussion as to, does it proc enough times to be more powerful than Ironfoot once it's maxed out? And so I believe that averaging things out, this is just me personally talking, I think that I'm not sure if we're going to see that huge of a difference between both of them. So you guys can test these two and give us some feedback as, you know, if it's been, which one of them has been working better for you. But both of these builds are going to do just fine. Whether you're going to focus on Durin's Blood or a little bit more on Ironfoot, they're both gonna perform really well. Good evening, Luis Orta. How you doing? That's the basic build for Dane, R5. At R5, at level 50, you have 69 skill points, and that's gonna allow you to max out King Under the Mountain, Dueling's Blood, and 3 extra points into Ironfoot. If you're going for build number 2, you're gonna be able to max out King Under the Mountain, get the second level of get the first bonus at level 5 from Dueling's Blood, and then get 8 out of 10 from Ironfoot. Now, when we get to the optimal build, this is kind of where you really want to get to. Dane, obviously, you're never gonna go wrong with Dane. But if you're a mid spender, you want to get him, to really perform, really shine, but you don't want to be, put too much money into one single commander. The optimal build at Legendary 10, which is our old R10, is where you want to go. The reason that is you will be able to unlock his unique, his relic. His unique is very strong. He's gonna pump out even more damage as he takes damage, and it's something that's gonna make all of your damage increase because of that. So going back to build 1, the optimal build gives you 79 skill points. Okay. You're gonna put 1 point into Dueling's Blood, 10 into King Under the Mountain, 6 into Ironfoot. Then you're gonna max out Dueling's Blood. That's gonna leave you with 1 power bloodline left, or 1 point left, which you can allocate to power of bloodline. Kind of a little, extra there. Got nothing else to do, might as well put it into power of bloodline. Okay. On your build number 2, the same principle you apply in every single build. You first put the first point into Dueling's Blood to activate it at the right time that you want it to. Okay. Optimal build for day number 2. Remember, you still get 79 skill points. First point into Dueling's Blood. Second into King Under the Mountain. Third, which is different from the other one, you're gonna max out Ironfoot, and then go back to Dueling's Blood for an extra 5 skill points. Okay. It's gonna leave you with 10 out of 10 for King Under the Mountain, 10 out of 10 for Ironfoot, and then 6 out of 10 for Dueling's Blood. Still gonna leave you with 1 extra skill point that you're gonna then put into Power of Bloodline. Now, when we get to the, to the best build that you can get to, you want, these two are basically the same, right? You're gonna, as Zenith 6, our old school R21, you get 90 skill points at level 50. And with 90 skill points, you can max out all 3 of the trees. And here it really doesn't matter. As long as you put the first point into Dueling's Blood, you can then max out King Under the Mountain, Ironfoot, and then finish off with with Dueling's Blood. Which one, for you guys that are watching here in the chat right now, which one have you guys run before? By the way, Tom, thank you for subscribing, my friend. Appreciate it. Which build do you guys usually use? Build number 1, focused on his top R0, or build number 2, focused on Dueling's Blood? Blue-eyed, I know you run Dane, so what do you use? All right, Wyman from Iron, he usually goes for Dueling's Blood. I know his Dane performs quite well. He sends me some reports from time to time. It's actually quite nasty.
Pride got the best one over there, I think.
Yeah, Pride is. I mean, that was how many seasons ago? 3-4 seasons ago we played him, and he already had him very, very good. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a nice one.
Wyman said, but I agree, sometimes I'm disappointed with my luck. All right. So, see, and Kellagon the Black, he says Ironfoot for me. And this is the reason why we presented these 2 builds. We need to have a little bit of data. Some will, swear by this one where Dueling's Blood is the best. Some have said that, Ironfoot, for not being RNG, whether or not it's gonna hit the 2 units, gives more damage. That's why you guys can pick and choose, right? You guys can pick and choose and see which one will work better for you. Okay. King Under the Mountain. Oh, here we go. Oh, an Ironfoot. There you go, Evan. I didn't tie my shoes. If when During's Blood alternates between 1-2 formations 50% of the time, then it's 1,050% of damage, average 3 times a battle, so 50% damage. Ironfoot only does 2,000 battle at max. That's a good point. That's those stats are some of the things that we were discussing. I'm not sure if this is Vessi actually. I think I remember seeing Vessi with a different name on YouTube, and bringing up all of these damage numbers here. It makes me think that the one talking is Vessi. Vessi, is this you? All right, maybe that's not maybe that's not him. All right, never mind. All right, Blue Light said during, but I'm Z10. Oh wow. Oh that nah. He has enough to go into his bottom R0 because he has extra points. All right, cool. Remember, guys, don't worry if I hide this for now. You guys are gonna have access to this. What's up, Zane? Zane in the house. You guys are gonna have access to this spreadsheet right after the live stream, so don't worry about not having access to this. Okay, I presented this, this gear best in slot spreadsheet in another video for you guys, and so I'm just gonna glance over it because for damage dealers, for physical damage dealers, they are kind of the same. Okay, you might want to consider nuances, of maybe why should I go for a Black Bow instead of an Axe of Khazad-dûm. There's always little situations where it might be better, maybe depending on the account that you have or the amount of gear that you have. You might find that Reach of Rider Mark, for example, Reach of the Rider Mark can be, it's not as strong as obviously we can see Axe of Khazad-dûm gets a 22 average of damage, Reach only gets a 20, and then 48 of attack. But also considering that it gives 21 of attack and focus, for somebody that might not have as much gear as they would like, Reach of the Rider Mark could be a piece of gear that you can use in 2 different formations, one for physical damage dealers and the other for elemental damage dealers, because 21 of focus is not that bad really. Okay, not the best, but it's not that bad. So let's just go over really quick the 4 gear slots best in slot for Dane. Okay, we have the Axe of Khazad-dûm for the weapon. Third, I've chosen the Black Bow because it still pumps out a lot of attack. It's only 9 comparing to the Axe of Khazad-dûm. Has a lower minimum, but only 2. The variance is only 2 on average of of damage difference here, but also gives 15 of defense, which is pretty nice. Okay, we still haven't seen the other stats really play out as we think the devs are having the intention to. We've discussed, is HP that useful in the game right now? Most of them say that it's not right now, but we don't know what's gonna happen, in the future, because 2.0 is still not 100% out yet. Okay, so Black Bow second place, Blazing Tongue in third place, Reach of the Rider Mark in fourth, with Hammer of Moria and Cruel Hooks coming 5th and 6th. All right, and then 7th place you got the Battle Axe, Easterning Spear, and Elven Dirk. Okay, that's what you would follow. Quite easy, you guys can just come here and say, okay, I'm trying to build Dane, I don't have an axe, what should I use? All right, I got a Blazing Tongue, perfect, let's go with this. All right. Now, somebody asked about gear sets. Remember in 1.0 how whenever you strengthen a piece of equipment, the top stats, right, the top part of the gear was improved. when you refined, the bottom part of the gear was improved, which was the special skill that gear piece had, right? You got the frenzy, you got the aegis, all that good stuff. See, the thing that happened now, I definitely can, my brother. Let me increase. Somebody's saying the audio is a little too low, so let me increase that for you. How's that now? Is that okay? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine.
All right. I think it's because we're talking on Discord, and people on YouTube are having a little bit of more of a lower audio. Coleman, how you doing, Coleman? Can you guys hear me okay now? Is the mic a little bit louder for you guys?
Seems the same.
Let's turn it up a little. That should be okay. You think it's lower? All right, let's bring it close. Let's bring it closer then. What about now? Can you guys hear me okay? All right, cool. I'll bring the mic closer a little bit. All right, cool. Bring the cable this way. There we go. Perfect. All right, you guys can see the mic, but that's okay. That's fine. There we go.
That's better, yeah.
Perfect. Cool.
Zane, what's Stunna up to nowadays? Have you talked to Stunna lately?
All right. Let's go. So, somebody asked about gear sets, okay? And like I was mentioning in 1.0, the bottom skill was strength was improved when we refined. Now there's three traits on each gear piece. You got the top, which talks, it's either command or damage or HP, right? That's one of the stats that kind of hidden at the top. Then you got the regular stats, and then the bottom gear set. The gear set is not as relevant as everything else, okay? Especially if you have a lot of gold gear. For gold gear, the most important things that you want are to look at gear that will boost your damage and your attack. Okay, that's the very first thing you want. That's why Axe of Khazad-dûm is at the very top. It has the highest maximum damage, along with the Blazing Tongue, but has the highest average, right? From between 14 and 30, it's a 22 average, has the highest attack as well. That's why it was put over here. The same thing for Cask of Pride. Okay, no helmet gives damage for your commanders. So you gotta look at the secondary stat. Cask of Pride has the highest attack. Now we have been discussing the possibility of Orcish Great Helm. It's something we discussed previously. Has a lot lower attack, but it has this 100 command. I've been discussing, is 100 command on the damage dealer the best thing? Because 100 command on a damage dealer is about 9 to 10% damage reduction for his army. But we decided that still the Cask of Pride is still the best in slot for damage dealers. Okay? The same thing for the Berserker's Raiment. Highest attack, has a little bit of a focus, a little bit of a speed, which is very good for a lot of damage dealers. Okay? A lot of damage dealers. And as for the accessory, there are only two pieces of accessory that will give you a damage and attack. And the best in slot is the Palantir of Orthanc, who gave you a 10 out of 10, which is great, and 48 of attack. Okay? So for gold piece of gear, the most important thing is making sure that you're following these two stats here, damage and attack. Now, if you can match your gear sets, it's an extra bonus. So do it. But don't get don't get hung over the fact that you might have two that match each other and the other two that match the other half. You're not going to get a full gear set. That's not the end of the world. The biggest thing really is looking at damage and your attack for your Dane. Okay, just kind of going over really quick the rest of the gear. You got Cask of Pride and as the best in slot helm. You got the Berserker's Raiment as the best in slot armor, and the Palantir of Orthanc as the best in slot accessory. Remembering that you're going to have access to all of this, so we don't really have to go over one by one. The purpose of the live is really to show you guys all this information and let you guys have access to it later. There's another cool thing I'm going to show you, which we might spend a little bit of time on. Okay. All right. Next up, we got our troops. Okay, and again, all the things that I'm sharing here is not something that I'm just coming up on my own. It's something that we discuss as a council. Okay, so some options for troops for Dane. Okay, if you're playing NRP, Cold Drakes are a great choice to use. Okay, they're very tanky. They might be a little bit expensive on the resources, but again, this is giving you guys ideas. I'm not saying you should always go with Cold Drakes, and then you can't really fight because you have to wait 24 hours for your army to be hired to be conscripted. These are options you guys can test, okay, and play with. Now with the whole countering, the troop countering system, medium to small to large and all that stuff, it's important to think who you're fighting, because if you're getting countered, you're taking 20% extra damage, okay? And if you're countering, you're doing 20% extra damage. And if you're the same type, 0. Neither nor, right? It's a 0. So Cold Drakes is a very tanky unit for you to run. If you're playing RP or NRP, another good option is Eagles. Okay. So both Cold Drakes and Eagles are large units, so they counter medium units. Okay. And good side is using a lot of medium units, so you can run your Eagles and your Cold Drakes. You're gonna get a boost in damage against them. Okay, they don't take extra damage by other large units, but they do get countered by small units. Counter meaning that they take 20% extra damage. Okay. Another option could be that you can use Ram Riders. The reason being, Dane being a dwarf, you got the power of bloodline that gonna give your troops extra attack and extra defense.
Yeah, we gotta go. If they find out they need access, they need access.
And so
just put it in the.
All right, give me a second.
This may be a recall because they're indicating that.
Okay, so you can run Ram Riders because you gotta run some dwarves. If you're Dane, you get extra attack and defense from power of bloodline from running your own type of unit. And remembering, Ram Riders, they're medium units. They counter. Oh, shoot. Yes, they counter small units. Perfect. They don't take any extra damage from medium units, but they do get countered by large units. Okay, so if you're wondering why, your cavalry is getting destroyed, not necessarily from Dane, but in general, okay, from fell beasts or eagles or trolls, you might want to look into, testing a different type of unit because you're taking extra damage. Okay. Now, your traditional other option is Guardians. Okay, they're small units. They counter large units. They don't take any extra damage from other small units, but they do get countered by medium units. Okay. Last but not least, I've added Seafarers here because we in the council we were talking about this. Okay. Seafarer, with the whole damage dealing meta right now, everybody's running on both sides their best damage dealing commanders. Seafarers in 2.0, they have a skill that reduces all damage received from other commanders in 30%. And now that you don't have to use gold, to upgrade your units anymore, as soon as you get them, you get that minus 30% from commander damage. And it doesn't say physical or elemental. It just says commander damage. So this is a fun unit that you can test to see. You know, you're not getting the power of bloodline stats, but you're not. It's not a big. You're not really dropping that much. You're only losing, I don't know, anywhere between from like 6 to 10 attack and defense for not running power of bloodline. You know, running dwarfs with Dane. But people have been saying in our group that Seafarers have been able to help counter a lot of damage dealing formations. All right. And just a reminder, as you know, as more people show reports and we talk about different troop combinations, we're gonna be, you know, updating this, removing something that we feel might not be the best might not be the best option, and, you know, switching over for something. You know, let's say we might find out that Fell Beast might be a fun troop to run. So, and others as well. Okay, let me just check here a couple of messages really quick, because I know these are usually interesting. Huh. Shout out to Zane. Zane just sent me a couple of screenshots. And it seems that they removed... Okay, so they've removed cold drakes, werewolves, eagles, and fell beasts from the category of large units. So let's see what kind of units they are. Give me a second here. Pull up the game. I'll let you guys see the screen as well. Give me a second, everyone. Here we go. Oh, okay, so they're broken. They gotta add them. That's what you're saying, right? I mean. Okay. But so let me ask you, Zane, since you're here right now. Are you not seeing the extra 20% being applied to them? Because I mean, when I click here at the symbol of the Cold Drake, you know, I see that it's the large unit symbol, the single unit symbol. So dragons. Okay, interesting. That isn't applied in combat. That is interesting. So prioritizes melee. Deals additional 25% physical damage to targets after attacking, except when facing large units formations. And renders the enemy unable to recover HP when healed. Oh, okay. Give me a second here. Okay. Oh, I know. That's you showed me the image. And that's really interesting, because once you click on the large units here, they're not in here. Interesting. All right. So, I mean, from this, I'm assuming that just need to add them here, you know, because on the top right-hand corner here, they show that they are a single unit. So this is the symbol for large unit, but they're not added into the category yet. That's a question. I'm gonna send this to Saxon and to the devs, because that's true. You can confirm it with a V1 hammer, which I do have. Oh, but I don't have a Drake. So forget it. Oh, but I do have... Let me see here. Okay, let me check. Because I do have Sunan. So give me a momento here. You're right, see? The bonus is not applied. So yeah, they're broken. Good point, Zane. It's not that they're nerfed, it's they're broken. They're not where they're supposed to be. Perfect. I'll reach out and let them know, because I'm pretty sure it's in their interest to do this. Before we get going back in Dane, let me send my guys here. All right, let's send somebody. Let's send them over here. Actually, let's send them over here. Here we go. Let Azrael move over here. Good catch, though, Zane. I appreciate that, my friend. All right, I know. Okay, so Zane has also reached out. Perfect. Okay, I have a couple of tips for Dane. I don't know if they fixed this. So if they do, then we're going to update this. This is the beauty of a spreadsheet. Whenever there's something new, I can just come here, delete it or add it, and you guys are gonna have this thing always updated. Okay, so tip number 1. This has been, I've seen reports from different people in different servers that you can take with damage dealing commanders, Dane being one of them, is that you can take tiles with just 1 unit. Oh, here, let me show you what I mean. Okay, so let me go back here. Let me equip somebody here. Okay, so what they're saying is that, let me pull up my shadow, which is a damage dealing. You can take, you can I'm a DPS for sure. You can take tiles and still basically survive with 1 single unit. Kind of broken, because you can't really do that with troop commanders. So instead of you taking your Dane full command and hitting a tile, you can just go like this on all your damage dealing commanders and then send them on their way. I mean, you can send everything. Actually, you can do this. Let's say this is a Gandalf. Let's say Malthus Sauron is my Gandalf the Grey. I can do this on him because you really want you want the White Council to to proc, and you can just do this on every single one of them. As long as you have, at least 2 strong DPS commanders, damage dealing commanders, and you go on your merry way and take a tile. Okay, that's tip number 1. Obviously, as you take bigger tiles, that might not work, for a 200 or 250, but especially for the first 24 hours or your early game, this is a very good tip for you to use. What's up, Surtur? We got our model in the house. How you doing, my friend? Tip number 2, and this is specifically for Dane, and it's gonna also be relevant for Lurtz when we talk about him in just a bit. Is that for Dane, you want to team him up with a faster damage dealing commander, so that he takes away all the white. So if you're fighting against White Council, and this is, RP or NRP, depending who you're fighting. Whenever you run into White Council commanders, a good tip is to run a second damage dealer that's going to be faster, but not just faster. One that will have more instances of attack than Dane will. That way, they will shred through White Council instances faster. So when Dane starts hitting with his very heavy attacks, you're trying to get White Council to be wiped out before that happens. So then Dane can just full on blast with his full potential on the enemies that you're fighting. Okay. Little tip for you guys over there. So you got, you can use Gimli, Shadow, Scowlhelm, any commander that does multiple instances of damage. Gimli has quite a few number of attacks that he can do before Dane. Shadow is a beast. Shadow is just for shredding White Council. He's amazing. He's gonna be in all my evil account formations because he's just that good, and especially for low spenders as well. Okay, and Scowlhelm, she has multiple instances of damage as well, but also if you run her with her top R0, I'm not saying you should, but if you want to run her with at least one skill into her top R0, that way you can proc multiple instances of damage there from your troops as well. Okay, so a tip to keep in mind. Whenever we talk about Scowlhelm, we'll go deeper into her builds and stuff. Okay, and some formations for Dane. Okay, left side is RP focused, and on the right side is NRP focused. Okay, so we have 3 for you guys for now. More as we discover, as we see good progress with them. I'm going to add them here, remove anything that kind of has become stale or not working anymore. So you guys can check this anytime you want to reference or you want to decide on what to play with. Okay, so your first formation, you got Dane, Gimli, Gandalf the White and Gandalf the Gray. This is something that you want to test. The reason for matching Gandalf the White and Gandalf the Gray is kind of the same principle of matching Gandalf the White with Falcon. You wanna mitigate damage, increase that defense or mitigate damage. In this case, with Gandalf the White and Gandalf the Gray, you can. Oh shoot! I appreciate that, Rodrigo. Forgot that you guys are seeing this. There you go. Perfect. I appreciate that. We're back. So the first formation, like I said, Dane, Gimli, Gandalf the White, and Gandalf the Gray. And the role, if you guys are still struggling to understand how to beat the formations, we're working on a video to specifically talk about the different commanders and the different roles that they have. You have to match specific commanders with other specific types of roles in order for them to work, especially if you are low spenders. You need to really utilize the supports or the crowd control commanders to be able to give your other commanders more life. You might not be able to run 4 damage dealing commanders all the time, and I'm not even sure if that's going to be viable or useful as the meta develops. Right now we're basically back in 1.0 theory crafting mode like we were a year and a half ago. So the meta is still too early to know, is this guy worthless or not? It's very hard, and I know everybody's trying to decide things because of the whole refund respect window that we have. So we're trying to do the best that we can to understand what's going to be the best, knowing though that the meta can change in the future, right? With new commanders or commanders being reworked, because too many commanders right now need to be reworked. Okay, many are doing great, but a lot of them are basically the same, especially on the evil side. I've seen the same skill on R1, T1s and T2s way too many times. Okay, so so the first formation, the reason why, like I said, the roles for each one is Dane is to to pump out some damage. The same thing for Gimli. You want him to pump out damage, but also with his attack going before Dane to shred the White Council. Okay, and Gandalf the White, he wants some damage reduction, also buff damage. Okay, his R5 will buff the damage that your enemies take. So this is a huge plus to have. And remember, this is RP. We're going to go over the RP in just a second. Gandalf the Grey, you want the damage reduction to stack, like Zane just said in the chat. It does currently stack, okay? But also, with his bottom R0, you can, in the early rounds, possibly help wipe out, shred White Council with his Convener. Okay, so 4 attacks on his troop every round for the first 4 rounds, I believe. I gotta check that later again. Helps Gimli shred the White Council for when Dane starts doing all that heavy, the heavy hitting. Second option that you can have is Dane, Bjorn, Gandalf the White, and Gandalf the Grey. Just kind of switching. At this point, you can kind of decide what other DPS you want to have. Like I said, ideally, Dane is really your main guy here. Especially if you have his unique, right? If you have his unique, you want Dane to be hit, so he stacks on that extra damage. But you want White Council, or whatever damage reduction that's been put on, to be wiped out as fast as possible, so that when he hits very, very hard. No. We're going to have NRP builds on the right side here in just a second, in 2 steps, as you can probably see here on the right side. Okay? You can switch off, Gandalf the Grey for a Falcon. Ideally for Falcon, though, you want to run 3 dwarven commanders just to get that synergy going. You might think, Power Bloodline might not be that great. You can run Bjorn with dwarves to get that defense. Yes, but here we try to give you the most optimized data, stats as possible. You can obviously go with Bjorn and dwarves, but we're trying to give you the best that we know of so far, at least. Okay. And the last but not least, this is a test build that I've been running in PBE, but as you guys know, PBE is not the most reliable source of testing, honestly. Something you can run is you can run Dane with Elmer, Imrahil, and Denethor. It's the same principle that people have been talking about. The trying to get the extra bunch of healing to be proccing. Okay, Elmer has Arrowhead Leader, and so he come on. Elmer doesn't just have Arrowhead Leader. He is one of the strongest hybrid commanders that Good Side has. Okay, so in this case, Dane is still doing, he's still packing that commander damage. Elmer, you want Elmer to help with the commander damage, but also you want him to help with the troop healing procs. And then Imrahil and Denethor, realistically, you want them to heal with their ally skill. And in this case, you'd either run 3 formations of medium units, so they proc, and 1 of man. You can run possibly Denethor with Swan Knights, and then so he takes all the damage, and then the rest with cavalry. Or no, never mind. You need something. No, you need a small unit in this case, because I believe. Let me have a look really quick here on the skills for Denethor. Let's have a look. So Denethor's skills, ally. So ally, you could run all 4 commanders with medium units. That way, you divide the healing between all 4 of them, because ally is medium units in 3 allied formations have a 35% chance to recover 60% HP upon dealing physical damage, right? So if you ran all 4, kind of just means that you would divide the healing between all 4, and I honestly don't think that's a bad thing. So you guys might as well just run 4, but make sure that you're running Dane as well. So the idea here is to do what many people have been doing with the Theoden, Elmer, Imrahil, and Denethor build, but instead of that is packing somebody that can actually pump out damage. Okay, I love to see this being tested in a real server, and I will be testing this with my commanders. And the reason why I like this build is because I feel that the build from Theoden and Elmer, Imrahil, and Denethor lacks a little bit of damage. Maybe if you're using Shire Protectors, usually that seems to be working quite well for them. But besides that, I feel that they don't have that much damage to be able to compete with other damage dealing commanders. I would love to see this build to see how it would perform. Okay. As for the 3 NRP builds, you have, I'm sure you guys can see that on the screen. Okay, you got, so in the first formation, you got Dane, Scowlhelm, Gandalf the White, and Sauron. Dane, he's putting out damage. Scowlhelm is also, you guys seen this. She can put out a lot of damage, but also helping shred that White Council. Gandalf the White is helping with the damage reduction and the buffing damage. Sauron is key here. I remember a few weeks back, people just saying how, okayish Sauron was turned, but honestly, Sauron is so key for many formations because of what he's able to do. Sauron's R0 buffs damage that the enemy receives, has a chance for madness, right? Bottom R0, damage and madness. R3, damage and madness. And R5, remove stats from commanders. It drops by 15% attack, defense, and speed. Okay. I didn't tie my shoes. Asked, do you think having initiative on Sauron is important? I will let Anton here. I'll let Two Steps from Hell answer that question in the chat for you. Okay. I'll let him answer. As long as he's here still, I'll let him answer. Okay. The second build, you can run Dain Ironfoot, the Shadow. Shadow's gonna do what you want Skelhelm to do, which is commander damage plus shredding the White Council. Gandalf the White is still doing the damage reduction and the buffing of damage. Sauron still for the same support, crowd control role there. Okay, buffing damage, crowd control, and commander debuffs. Okay, when I say debuff, is his decreasing stats from the commander, and that's a great, anti-damage dealing commander setup right there. And the last but not least, you got Dain Ironfoot, Bjorn's, Gandalf the White, and Sauron. Okay, Bjorn is taking the place of Shadow, and the rest is still the same. All right, give me a second here. Jax is talking, but he can't. It's not showing up.
Yeah,
are you showing up now? There you go.
I don't know.
Yep, you are.
Oh, you just don't have my bubble.
Yeah, now it's up.
Yeah, initiative is important on Sauron. I think.
Yep.
You need to get him above what his baseline stat is for sure.
Yeah. So just to summarize, we'll talk about Sauron in the Discord later. But yes, having speed, having initiative on Sauron is very, very, very important. Okay. So, good question. Are these formations in order of which is the strongest? No. Until I have more information, more reports, and we discuss more, I wouldn't rank these. I'd say test them. Although having Gimli with Dane is probably one of my favorite things to do. The fact that go ahead.
The Dane, Bjorn, GTW, and GT Gray is great for RP. Dane, Bjorn, Sauron, GTW is great probably for MP.
And I mean, there's more stuff to be added here, right? I could just copy and paste this and add Falcon at the bottom here because Falcon is also a good support. I like to see a little bit more testing though from that formation. So,
well, it's hard to say. Like somebody asked the question, right? They say, okay, well, what's the absolute top God tier, S tier, best formation? Blah blah blah, right? Well, anything anybody tells you, us or anybody else out here making videos on this game, is all going to be subjective to what do you have as far as respect and what do you have as far as items, and that's really it. So you can't really just say this is the absolute optimal everything God tier because it's based upon what you have. What is your ability to make that, right? So if you can make it, okay, maybe it is the best, but not everybody can make the best in slot everything.
Of course,
right? You just can't. And it's also subjective to what are you fighting, what kind of troops, what kind of opponents. So it's better if you just kind of say, okay, these three formations are probably the best here. So any which way that you can get there, one of these three, you're good to go.
Yep.
Instead of just saying this is God tier, it beats everything. There's nothing else that competes. I don't know about that.
Yep. That's a very good point. And the last one I think is one of the most important, Jax, is it depends also who you're fighting. Because, if you're gonna fight a Kraken, even if you have the perfect formation, but his is just stronger than yours, it's really hard to say, whoa, you lost, and therefore that's a bad build. How I feel 2.0 is, and this is after a lot of testing, you're building your formation to synergize with each other. You're trying to build the best synergized formation that you can, and then you're going to send them. But it's not like 1.0 where You know, oh man, I got countered. Let me just switch off this piece of gear and put that piece of gear because now I can fight that guy. It's not like that anymore. You build the best that you can, and then you see what you can do. Maybe the troop, maybe you can improve that result by switching the troop type, right? Maybe the guy that you fought had medium units, and you're running small units. So you say, okay, let me switch it out and see if I can get a better result from that. You do little tweaks like this, but it's not the same as 1.0 where you can just easily go back and say, okay, I know what I need now, because.
I mean, there's so many variables, right? Like, I'm hesitant to say to anybody, you know, this is the best, get here, or you're just garbage. You know what I mean? Because there's so many moving parts, so much going on, so many possibilities. So I think it's just better to say these three are likely the best you're going to get. So get to one of these three places as best you can. Would probably be best as far as for everybody, right? Like, and then have the options of, okay, you got gold gear, you got purple gear, you got this respect, you got that. Here's your options. Just try and get to these places, you know, as best you can.
Later in the week, you guys can wait for this. Later in the week, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do a kind of in a way a tier list of each like different role that a commander has, and I'll give you my opinion as to the one, like the best ones that I feel, and you compare that with other people that are, you know, like Vessi and other people, Gore and Umbra and HDW. Everybody that's putting out content and studying the game. So, okay, I see that everybody is kind of leaning on these 3-4 guys. Then most likely that these are probably the ones that I want to focus on. But at the end of the day, guys, it doesn't mean you're not going to lose battles, you know, because you know it's 4. You're sending 4 commanders versus somebody's random 4 commanders. If they switch 2 of theirs and you're still sending the same commanders, his commander might kind of way counter yours. And this is the other thing that you need to keep in mind. Okay, for this reason, you need to start looking at what are the more universal and commanders that you can use in multiple formations. This is why Gandalf the Grey. I mean, removing the damage dealers because they're just in a way broken right now. But that's why Gandalf the Grey, Gandalf the White, Sauron, Shadow, the Undying, why these commanders are becoming so important for formations, because they support what your main formation does, but at the same time they're universal. That if I'm running 2 formations and both of them have 2 damage dealers, I can switch Undying on both of them, and he's gonna support both of them. So this is something you want to keep in mind. What are the more universal commanders that I can run that will work within multiple types of formation? And I'll show you at the end this account that I'm running, and this is.
Let me see your good side, Dane. Let me check that out right quick.
Let me pull up. Give me a second here, and I'll pull it up.
And I can pull up my alerts for when you do alerts.
Okay, so give me just a second here. Let me open another.
But yeah, like what Zane is saying in chat is kind of, you know, exactly what we're saying. We're going to tell you options. We're going to give you options. We're going to tell you what's working. You know, what we know, and then, you know, what we think are the best combinations and best, you know, possibilities, and then depending on what you have as the viewer, you got to figure that out and try and put it together to get there. But we're going to give you options.
You sure are. Let me just pull up my Dane so you guys can have a look. I use Gandalf the Grey as well, JP. I like it. So,
you know, I saw when 2.0, even before 2.0 came out, right? I started looking around on YouTube and whatnot, and trying to get a little bit of information. You know, I usually like to figure everything out on my own, and I don't like to go based upon what other people are telling me. I've never been that way. I enjoy mastering something with my own mind. But I wanted to get kind of like a little bit of information So I started looking around, and I swear I noticed like a couple people, I'm not going to name names of other streamers, whatever, that are putting stuff out before the damn game even come out, like tier lists, right? Before 2.0 even being released, they're putting tier lists out. And then a day or 2 days into the damn game being released, they're putting tier lists and all this. I'm like, how can you do that? You haven't even had a chance to do anything with it. Like, good grief. Like, give it a little bit of time. Let's see what's what. Let's get in here. Let's jump in here. Let's get some fights. Let's get some builds. Let's tinker with some gear. Let's go in the lab here. Let's put together some stuff and test it. And then let's, say, okay, this is working, right? And that's kind of where we're coming from.
All right,
why we may be a little bit behind some other people as far as, putting out content, because we needed to test it.
So I'm gonna show you guys my PBE account. There's a reason for that. I haven't logged into the game. Here we go. This is the one, right? Yep, that's right. This is. Give me a second. Let me see if this is the. This is not the one I want. Yeah, this is the one. Yep, there we go. I haven't logged into this account in a season because I'm saving my 30 days for as much as I can on this account. This account is too
$5 account or 100 and whatever $25,000 account hasn't logged into it at all.
So PBE doesn't trigger the 30 days, so we're still safe. So I mean,
that's so great, bro. I haven't even touched it. It's just sitting in the garage.
It has to, man. For now, it has to.
Got a security guard outside the garage.
Yeah, for now it has to. But I mean, I think by the end of this week or next.
Yeah, that's a part of it, Logic, for sure. Keeping the quota, the revenue, whatever. I don't know, but that's definitely a part of it. I don't disagree with that. I would wait and just make sure you know what you're talking about as best you can before you go throwing stuff out. But it is what it is.
Can you see my screen, Jack? Are you watching on the YouTube? Or are you watching on?
All right, so yeah, I'm watching on my TV, but I'm talking weird.
Yeah, so does it say I haven't logged into?
You can't. No,
I can't change my gear. So all my gears from 1.0.
Yeah, so we didn't even need to look at this.
So there you go.
I got it. All right.
Either way, so the build, right? Once we max it out, Doing's blood. I started testing.
I'm all calling it a troop build, and it's not. It's 1.0.
Yeah, no. There's a message that OBS is disconnected. So I don't know if people are actually watching because I don't see anybody in the chat here. Give me a second here. Is it working? Is it working fine?
I don't see chat though.
Yeah, for some reason it keeps. Let me just check to see if my internet is working properly. Give me a second here. Seems like he always wants to break up when I'm. No, internet is fine. 600 megabits of download is fine. Can you guys in chat? Okay, he's here. Logic is here. Perfect. All right, cool.
Okay, there we go.
All right, let's keep moving then. We got another commenter to go and a few other topics to discuss. So let's hide this for a second. All right, we're back to Lurtz. All right, so actually, Lurtz, there is no mystery to Lurtz. Okay? Lurtz being is going to... Oh, there we go. Dane said we're just hidden. Okay, so Lurtz is the same principle in theory. Some things are same principle with Dane because he's also a physical damage dealer, right? So the first thing you want to look into for Lurtz, whenever you're building Lurtz, the two most important stats you want to look for is damage and then attack. Okay. As for, I have two builds for Lurtz. They're not necessarily that different. This is just something that you can test. Depending on what troop you want to run, you might want to do something different. For example, build number 1 here focuses on after you max out both of his Pursuer Tree and Urukai Firstborn, which are his 2 damage dealing skills, you might want to focus on the White Hand if you're gonna be running berserkers. Berserkers are very cheap, resource wise, and they're okay. They're a pretty, cost effective unit to run if you're running small units. And the reason for running the white hand is because it will boost your attack and the defense of your berserkers by 27, I believe. So it's plus 27 attack, plus 27 defense. Keep in mind that you do get a minus 50% healing in case you have some healing in your formation, which you might not really want to because it doesn't really work. You get minus 50% healing when you're using this skill and you have Urukai on your formation. Okay, and then so the most simple build that you can do for Lurtz is an R3 Epic 3 build. At level 50, you get 67 skill points to use on your Lurtz. You want to max out Urukai Firstborn. You want to max out Pursuer. You can do 2 out of 10 points, 2 out of 10 levels into the white. When it hits like 2 hours, my OBS seems to want to crash.
So bad, bro. You got to get this worked out. Oh yeah, coming back.
All right, cool.
Now I see myself again talking. Stream. There's someone typing in the chat, so something's working.
All right.
We need one of those. Back in the 50s and 60s when the programming would go out, they'd have like a nuclear symbol that come on and say we're experiencing technical difficulties. We'll be right back. We need one of those.
We do. That's a good idea. All right, cool. I think we're back. I don't know what's happening, but if it drops again,
you got God.
Yeah, I'm getting what did JP said. RTW devs don't want the info to be shared before the respect refund ticks expire. You know what's going on? I'm getting having cyber attack. They're trying to bring down my internet, so let's not let that happen. All right, let's get back to it. So before it drops again, I hope it doesn't drop again. But if it does, let's get going. All right, here we go.
Like you see in some alien movies.
Yeah.
Alien invasion. They're broadcasting on news. Alien invasion. Run for your life. It's like a technical difficulty sign comes
Too much
up.
secret information here.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go. So at Legendary 10, which is kind of it's a steep, step to go from, Epic 3 to Legendary 10. You gotta ascend the dude, get into R10, Legendary 10. At that point, you get 79 skill points. You want to unlock his relic. His unique is very strong.
Lurtz? Mm-hmm. I think both are unique.
Oh, no, for sure, definitely. But for a T2, his unique is very strong. It's
that's
max level normal attacks. They do 125% extra damage. That is a lot. That's a
like
good
half a friend.
Exactly. There you go. So at this point in build number 1, you still max out both Pursuer and Urukai Firstborn. You get 6 points into the white hand and then 1 point into Power Bloodline. If you want to go, this is if you want to really go this high, honestly. If you are a medium spender and you really want to go to, Legendary 10 to get his unique, you can just stop here. Because all the extra points, the extra points is going to give you, a little bit more attack and defense for your units. But the gold here for Lurtz is these 2 skills. And the extra step would be his unique. Okay?
You got the headers for Dane on that.
Oh, do I? Oh, okay. I can change.
The purple and the yellow have headers for Dane.
That's fine.
Actually, the top right side.
I'll change that. I gotta change. I was just working on getting the rest of the information. You forgot to change the headers. I'll change that for later. So
No
On
biggie.
on the right side here, though, the focus is on the Urukai Elite skill. The reason for that is if you want an extra attack, remember two of the most important skills, traits that you want on your commander is damage and then attack. At level 10, let me just make sure I'm not saying this wrong. Let's see, Lurtz. At level 10, your commander gets +5 of attack. You might think, well, that's not a whole lot. True. But in case you do want to, that's what happens. This is really only really matters if you're gonna really max it out, or if you're not gonna run Urukai. If you're not gonna run Urukai, this is a good extra little boost of damage for your formation. Because remembering the white hand only gives it's only attack and defense for Urukai. If you're gonna run anything else that is not Uruks, you might just run either this, okay, or you can go into Power of Bloodline, because then you can get an extra boost of attack and defense for orcs. It's minimal, but it's a little bit. If we're trying to give you the best information that we have, so this is it, okay? If you're gonna run Berserkers, you can run the R5. If you're gonna run anything else, you can run the bottom R0, or go into Power of Bloodline to run orcs instead. That way, they're a little bit more tanky for your alerts. Okay.
Oh man, I just got wrecked, bro. I lost my first battle on the tile.
In terms of gear, Lurtz being a damage dealer, he's gonna follow the same principle that we talked about earlier with Dane. You're gonna want to go with the Axe of Khazad-dûm as your best and slot piece of gear, Cask of Pride as the helm, Berserker's Raiment as the piece of armor, and the Palantir of Orthanc as your accessory. Out of all of these things, for both damage dealing commanders that we talked about, if you cannot have, one of these, you need to go for a lower one, or even, maybe a purple. If you can, do not forego your accessory, because there's only 2 accessories that will give you commander damage, okay? And it's Palantir of Orthanc and the Drums of Barad-dûr. So if you might say, well, then I might have to go with the battle axe or with the crew hooks. Try to get the axe, but if you can't, that's fine. Just make sure that your accessory, you have it with the damage, because look at everything else. Your third place, your bone talisman, no damage, 18 of attack. Worn out smoking pipe, 9 attack, no commander damage. And your hit lane, 9 attack, no commander damage. They give you HP, but honestly, for DPS commanders, for damage dealing commanders, you want this damage here. This is what really makes them shine. Okay. Go ahead.
Put up my alert on share screen. When
Perfect. As soon as I finish this, I'll show Jack's alerts for you guys to have a taste of what we're never gonna have, but it's fine. We're inspired by it anyways. So the same tip you can use for alerts, right, that we talked about earlier for taking tiles early on. You can give him just one single unit with other damage dealing commanders, or your mitigation, your Sauron, your Undying, or whoever you're gonna use, and they can take tiles on without you wasting your troops. They are going to spend HP, but HP seems, at least for now, to recover quite fast. It doesn't take that long for commander HP to recover, so especially in the first 24 hours. So in those early days, using one troop, only one single unit with your DPS commander, it can be a way for you to save on troops, and you can use it elsewhere. As for formations for alerts, I only have one for RP right now and one for NRP so far, but we're going to be adding on more and more, so you guys can keep coming back to reference on this. So the first one, this is my personal favorite so far. It's Lurtz, the Shadow, the Undying, and Sauron. The reason why I love this build so much is Lurtz and Shadow, they're they're pretty. They're good for even the average player, the guy that's not gonna spend a whole lot of money. You can get all the useful skills, the key skills that you're gonna want for both of them, pretty good with being a medium spender. The Undying and Sauron, they're both your support. Okay, you want the evasion. Like we all know, if you play evil side, when you look at the Undying and you look at Gil-galad and you compare their evasion, it's pretty frustrating, but it's the best that we have right now. So you want that evasion from the Undying, but he also pumps out some nice damage. And as a treat, I'm going to show you a nasty report related to the Undying, okay? Just a little bit. And Sauron, as you see it in every single formation that I've showed here, when I had either RP, from good side, mixed with evil, Sauron is always in all of them because he is just that critical for these, in my opinion, for these builds to shine. Okay, and he's gonna be doing the damage debuff, the commander damage debuff, the crowd control with the madness, all that stuff, and the damage buff from his top R0. Okay, if you're playing NRP, I mean, kind of obvious getting the best of both worlds, right? You can use Dane with Lurtz, then both together pump out so much damage, and then you get the best support from the good side, Gandalf the White with the White Council and the damage boost, the 30% damage boost plus the 10% modified by focus from Sauron, and all the rest of the crowd control and the commander debuff that you can use. This looks like just a nasty build for NRP. Okay, let's pull up Jax's account, Jax's Lurtz really quick here. Let me pull you up here. Give me a second.
This is an example of what we think is best in slot.
Yeah, give me just a moment so I can pull you up on Discord.
It tends to work as well. So,
where is? Okay. Here we go.
I'm pretty sure, right, that they're gonna have to come out with another frickin' Dragon's Tooth, with actual pursuit, because there is no pursuit item right now, which is shocking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how are you gonna have Gil and, to some degree, Undying with this, evasion and have no pursuit item at all in the game? So I'm pretty sure that's gonna be coming.
This is just my hunch. I don't know what they're gonna do with the pursuit, but this is just commanders are gonna be coming out. This is my hunch. Don't quote me and say, "Oh, fellows said that the devs." No. This is my hunch from what I'm seeing. They're probably gonna put out an event with commanders coming out, hopefully, and those commanders are gonna be interesting.
There's just no way you're gonna have freaking, these guys run around with this evasion and no pursuit, right? Like, come on, man. And then if you take freaking, and I'm an evil RP player, so anytime I talk, it's coming from that perspective. Yep. But there's no way you're gonna freaking go out here and be trying to run into all these Gil, Gandalf the White, Gandalf the Gray, 3 or 4 comps. I mean, come on now.
Yep.
White Council and they get out of here with that. Yep.
See, you guys can see from Jax's build, he's running all the 4 pieces of gear that we talked about. He's running the Axe of Khazad-dûm, went Berserk. Right, Jax?
Yep, that's what we believe to be best in slots across the board. At least him, he's got them. Not everybody does, but he does.
Yeah. What is your unique refined?
Yeah. Let me go back. Let's see, Lurtz. Yeah, it is.
Ooh.
I didn't refine.
Shoot, you got.
I didn't refine the helmet and the. I mean, I don't know. I still think that's not a big enough factor to go all in on. obviously damage is the number one thing you're looking for, and then attack second, stat you're looking for. But HP, I just don't know how, so I didn't fully refine those two because I'm waiting on that. But
all right, got it. All right, cool. That looks fine and dandy, my friend. All right, so since you're guys, the two things that we wanted to talk about, which are the two main things for today's live. I still got 3 other topics to discuss with you. So we talked about Dane's build. Keep it there. No, keep it. Oh yes. While I'm talking, you can show some. No, you can show some reports while I'm talking. So we talked about Dane, his optimal skills, gear, troops, informations. That the access to this spreadsheet too. We'll be updating it as often as we find more things, and we talk about all things related to Dane. Same thing for Lurtz. I do have some more formations to add there. Oh, I forgot to mention to you guys just the troops, right? I forgot to mention the troops. I did mention them. No, I did mention them a little bit earlier. So the 3 troops that I would really run. I mean, there's you can still run cold drakes and fell beasts on evil as your large units, or large but not large units. I'm pretty sure they're gonna fix that. But then you also got your crushers, your berserkers, and if you're playing NRP, I would even consider going with trying seafarers. It might sound nasty. I don't really mix, even when I play NRP. I don't mix my troops, but seafarers have that minus 30% commander damage built into them. So if you're facing Danes, facing Gimlis, Bjorns, this could be a nice little tank for your commander. Okay. So that spreadsheet is going to be available to you guys right after the live stream here. So I'll send it over in the announcements. You guys can have access to that. But then there's 3 more things. So okay, let's look some reports from Jax really quick, and then we'll go over the other things. They are quite important as well. So I hope you guys stay for that too. All right. So you hit Jared.
Yeah, the leader of Gondor. And then I haven't fought with the Lurtz's formation recently. It's been a few days, but that's a recent one. And then I got into a good fight with one of these whales.
The three keepers.
One of the whales in Gondor. Yeah, I got a report from him, but I got hit by a lot of people all at once, so it's not really.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that Ugluk there. He's like 3,000 HP, and
he's just tanking. He's just tanking damage. So I was trying to uproot 3 keepers from Gondor, but his teammates were helping him and jumping in. So this is a bunch of reports all at once. There's one I got hit. Let's see. Oh, I got hit even before that. No, I was restocked there. Then he hit me, and he pretty much killed me. 3 keepers.
Oh,
he's a bit wailed out too. So.
No, yeah, he has all of these guys are zeniths because they're zeniths, or they're just all of them have uniques. I hit him with my Osru core when he was like level 32, and I was like, that was a funny hit. But this Osru core formation is gonna be doing some damage here soon. I'm excited.
So a few reports there.
Sweet.
It's like 111,000, 80,000, whatever. But bear in mind, we're only it's level 40, so I don't know what it is at level 50. I'm sure it's better, but we're just kind of early season here.
Can you go back really quick to your but go to
which?
Go to the hammer. Do you have any hammers left? And any uniques that you haven't used? Can you just click there really quick on. Oh, never mind. I wanted to show the Reforge page. Do you have that?
Reforge page. Yeah.
It's when you can you unequip one of the uniques and try to break it? No, don't click to break it. Just on the screen that you do that on.
Yeah, you got it.
This is something that I want to talk to you guys about, because I've seen a lot of people writing this on. What's up, Atlas Wolf? How you doing, brother?
All right, so you want me to go to just the unique itself?
Yeah,
right?
just unique itself. Click that reforge really quick on the no, right there on the bottom right. Get a unique.
Well, I've got enhance and refine.
Go back to Lurtz then.
Okay, so please
Yep,
reforge.
there you go. Just click on reforge.
Okay, well, I got to go to someone else.
There you go.
Reforge.
Yeah, leave it there for a second. So this is something I've been seeing around Discord everywhere, and it's people are talking. People are reforging their uniques. Okay, don't do that. If you guys have a unique and you can't, and you don't want to, if you have a unique and you're not able to get support to, to give you back like they've been doing for some players, do not click that 3,000 little button down there that says reforge, because you're gonna lose a lot of gear. Look, if Jax breaks his staff from Saruman, he's only getting 13 worn out pieces of gear for that thing. That's not how many he's put into it. Look at that. He has a fully refined unique, and he has enhanced it quite. How many times did you enhance it? Was it just once?
Oh, it's fully done, the Lurtz one.
So there you go. So then he's gonna get 13 pieces of worn out equipment, gold pieces. So
yeah, you're losing.
Don't ever reforge. I mean, if you're gonna spend a lot of money and you know what you're doing, you want to do it anyways, that's fine. I'm just warning you guys, because a lot of people have reforged their gear without knowing what would happen when they reforged it. So reforging allows you to re-roll stats on your unique, but it comes at a cost of a lot of pieces of gear. So unless you're thinking about losing a fifth of your gear or 3/4 of your gear every time you reforge, you don't want to reforge. Okay? So don't ever reforge.
Atlas, my thoughts on Ugluk. I've tried him both ways, and I was just having this discussion with, I think, Zane yesterday. But I've tried him as a damage dealer, was disappointed. And I've tried him as a troop buffer, and he's okay. And then now I think what I've settled on with him is somewhere in between. So I'm going to go troop buffer, but also the defense. So I'm going to go, with this thing and this thing for troops, right? Right now he's still kind of wrong, but let me actually fix that real quick. But so I think his strength is going to be just maybe having... I'm speaking from evil RP side. I imagine in RP you can do something comparable, but I think just putting like mountain trolls or a taunt unit on him and have him as the leader with a high command and a high defense is probably optimal right now, would be my thoughts. So just go all in on R1 upper mountain orc leader, then troll master, then maybe a little bleed to throw in there to help your damage dealers. But I think as having a taunt unit and having high defense gear is probably optimal. So maybe this kind of gear where you got all this defense coming out, or it's some crazy number of defense, like 200, and I think I got him up to 250 defense, tinkering around with him. Throw some mountain trolls on him, then have your damage dealers and support behind him, and just let him tank. That's going to be where his strength lies.
All right, guys. While we're at this, before we end, I'm gonna send a link. I'm gonna send this link out as well in the Discord later. But while you guys are here, where is the link? Here we go. Okay. What good side and what evil side commander do you guys want to see done next? Okay, there's a link in the chat. You guys can click there, give your opinions, and then depending on the popularity, we might change the ones we're working on. Okay, Let me get some water here. I'm gonna have to check. I'm gonna have to check on my stream connection right before we start streaming, because this is the second time this has happened. Like an hour and a half into the stream, I just see the internet start dropping. So I don't know what's going on. Oh, what video ended? Let's see here. Let me see. Man, I'm still up. Let me check here. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's OBS or it's YouTube that's kind of going crazy on me. All right, so, all right, guys, a couple more things I want to share with you guys here. I'm going to have to leave my account work on this account that I was showing you guys for tomorrow, because of time, the whole lagging thing's kind of going crazy. But there's one last thing I want to show to you guys, and then we're going to close on this, okay? Can you guys hear me okay? Make sure the audio is working properly before I show you guys what I'm talking about. All right, let me know in the chat, guys. Can you guys hear me okay? Is my voice coming out? All right, let me know in the chat, guys. Can you guys hear me okay? All right, it seems like it, because I just checked it on my YouTube on my phone and it seems to be working. All right, cool. Thank you, Wyman. So this is something, shout out to Jerican for building what I'm about to show you guys. And it's a work in progress, but I think you guys might enjoy it, okay? Have you ever wanted to see what your commander would look like if, with different pieces of gear? If I needed to equip my Dane with a battle axe, with a Palantir of Orthanc, Warmborn battle play, and a green piece of helm, what would my commander's stats look like? Have you ever wondered if there was something that could do such a thing? Well, feast your eyes. Feast your eyes on this. I present to you your own and only commander formation calculator for Rise to War 2.0. And let me show you guys how it works. Down to engage. I appreciate you subscribing, my friend. Thank you so much. Let me show you guys how this beauty works. Okay, so let's say I want to look at my Dane. See, I want to equip my Dane, but I don't exactly know what all the stats are gonna look like. I can come here, I can type Dane. Oh, not Duolinda. Duolinda, that was a good one. So I can type Dane, click on Dane. Okay, his unique helm will automatically pop up over here, and then I can see everything about him on the left side and the stats on the right side. Okay, I can choose what level he is. I can type if he's a level 35. See, look at that. If I type level 5, look how the stats on the right change. See? If I type 50, they will change as well. I can decide what what is the tier that they're on, mighty, epic, legendary, or zenith, and what respect of that he is in. Everything will be calculated. So for example, if I have him at R5, look what happens when I try to click on his unique. It becomes red because at R5 I cannot use Dane's unique. But if I change to R10, now once I click select, all the data for his unique gets counted in. Pretty cool, isn't it? Now, the nice thing about this calculator is I can put whatever piece of gear that we have, and it will show me what my commander will look like. So let's go back really quick to the commander guide we have. Dane. Okay, let's pull up his gear, right? So let's say I want to put the Axe of Khazad-dûm. I can select the Axe of Khazad-dûm, and it's going to give me the damage, the attack, the defense that the piece of gear gives me. All right. Let's say I want the Berserker's Raiment, which is the best in slot armor. I want the Cask of Pride, right? And the Palantir of Orthanc. I can put whether, we can put whether it was a classic or a 2.0, but all of our guides are really focusing on 2.0. I can put the type of gear set that I have. If it doesn't match, then the extra points. So let's say I want Sharp Blade, right? Sharp Blade on all of them. See, once they all match, the 20 extra attack gets automatically added here. I can say how many stars it's refined and strengthened, and all the data will be added accordingly. I can choose what unit I have, and it's going to give me the data for the unit on the right side over here, the data, right? So if I'm boosting my troops, it's going to give me the extra attack. So I'm getting 20 from here and 12, and for a total of 47. Okay, 12, yeah, with the boost. Oh, this is the commander. Yeah, never mind. This is the units. Yes, perfect. And this is kind of give you an average. All right, cool. The nice thing about this is, if, for example, I click on purple, I can decide whether or not to use preset gears, and these are the best in slots that we have decided. So if I click purple, and you say use preset gears and check that box, look what happens. Automatically, it's going to populate with the best in slot purple gear 2.0 that you can use for a physical damage dealing commander. And it gives me all the stats. If I use these 4 pieces of gear, my Dane at R10 level 50 with the unique is going to have 40 of damage, okay, max of damage. So let's do the average. It's going to have a 37 of average of damage, 30 of command, this amount of HP, 149 of attack, 103 of defense, 18 of focus, and 20 of initiative. And I can do this for every single commander in Rise to War. Right, let's say I want to go for let's go for Galadriel, for example. Okay, she's I can build my entire formation using this calculator before going to the actual game and messing things around. Okay, let's say she's R12. Okay, so I can use the file of Galadriel and click here. Boom. Oh, there we go. Never mind. R12. Why is she? She is legendary. Let's see. That's kind of weird. It has to be at R10 for some reason. Oh, never mind, because yeah, you gotta change that later. But then I can go to File of Galadriel, and I get all the extra stats from that, and I can say, give me the best golden pieces of gear for a elemental damage dealer, which that's what EDD stands for. Once I click here, it's gonna switch to all the best focus damage for this type of commander that we've set. She's gonna have an average of 55 of damage. That's pretty high. 94 command, 87, 28 of HP, 296 of focus. And you can do this, like I said, for multiple commanders. Let's go back to Lurtz. We had Lurtz earlier. Let's put him at level 50. He is going to be legendary because we want to see what his unique is going to do for us in terms of stats. And we can click here, apply his unique, and use gold and purple sets, and click here. It is going to auto-populate for me. Right? Then you have Reckoning. Elf, we probably have to change a little bit here because it's giving us definitely different. Oh, never mind. This is physical damage dealers. There you go. Okay. And use preset gears. It's going to change to the same pieces of gear that we talked about. Okay. The nice thing about this is it doesn't obligate you to use the presets. Look at what you can do here. So let's say I'm looking at my account, and this is what I'm going to do with you guys. I was going to do it today, but I'm going to have to do it tomorrow. Is let's say I don't have a Axe of Chaos of Doom, but I say, but look, I have a Reach of the Rider mark. That's right, Reach of the Rider mark. I have it at 3 stars strengthened and 4 stars refined. Look at all the numbers are changing as I change one little thing here. I have scale mail. I don't have a bone talisman, but I listened to what Fellow said, and I made sure that for my accessory, I have one of the 2, items that I really need for a damage dealing commander. Right? Boom, and I have this. And I was able to max it out, and I can see what my commander is gonna look like. Okay, it's gonna show exactly what my commander is gonna look like with these pieces of gear, right? So with these, my Lurtz is going to, and my Dane is gonna have a 53 of average in damage, 176 in attack, and the council has decided that whenever you are over 200 of attack for your commander, you would go for a different gear set. But let's say I have a gear set of Sharp Blade, okay? Because my Dane is below 200, I would use Sharp Blade because I want that extra 20 of attack to boost my commander damage. Okay, this is going to be very key. I'm almost at that 200 mark. Perfect, sweet spot right there. So you can build your commanders differently and kind of see what the gears that you have, what you can do for each of your formation. Now, a key thing that you need to understand: which comes first, gear or commander? Gear or commander? Which came first, the chicken or the egg, right? For me to determine what pieces of gear I want to keep, especially you guys that still have the window of conversion for 2.0, before you decide on what gear you want, you need to decide what commanders you're going to use. Because after you decide on your formations, then you can say, okay, so now I need to look at the gear that I have and get the best that I can with what I have for each of those formations. Okay, and this is what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. I hope to do it tomorrow, guys. I actually can't promise tomorrow because tomorrow is my son's birthday. So, you know what I mean. But I know for sure Wednesday. If I can tomorrow, for sure Wednesday, I'm going to hop on here on one of my accounts. I already decided the commanders I'm going to run. I got 3 formations. But now I need to look into the gear and convert all of them. Okay? And I want to do a live with you guys to show you how I would use the calculator, how I would decide gear sets and gear. Should I keep this or should I let this go? Hopefully it will help you guys decide and make the process a little bit easier. But huge shout out to Jarek. And this wasn't me, okay? I did not program this. I'm not taking credit for this. Jerican was the one that built this. Okay, so when I share this with you guys will, I gotta ask Jerican first if it's okay. But he made it public to us, and hopefully this is gonna help the community to be able to do quicker things in the game without breaking their heads so much trying to understand certain things. What do you guys think of this new calculator? You guys liked it? I love it, man. I look at this every day, kind of trying to decide what I want to do with my commanders, So the key thing here is, once you decide on the commanders that you have, you learn what role they have, you see what role they have, and you can see, okay, what pieces of gear, is gonna help me fulfill that role. For example, one formation that I'm gonna be running is kind of a a test. So I have two main formations. The third, two of the commanders I'm gonna be switching around on the other two formations, and two are just gonna be test commanders for a theory that I have. So they're going to be support. I'm trying to lower the damage that damage dealing commanders do, physical damage dealers do on my formation. So I'm going to be testing Mouth of Sauron and Glassshot just to see. Like I said, they're not my main formations, but I want to see, is it possible on the same level that I am? I'm not trying to compete with whales, but on the same level that I am, how much can Glassshot and Mouth of Sauron in a way help my other commanders on fighting damage dealing commanders? We'll see. Glass is only R3, so like I said, I'm not trying to fight with an R10 or Zenith damage dealing commander. Just kind of see how that can work out. All right, let's see. That's the last thing that I wanted to go over with you guys was going over my entire account, but that would take at least another 40-50 minutes, and we're basically hitting the 2-hour mark that I wanted to stay under. So let's have a look on what you guys have decided so far. So only five responses so far on which commanders we should do master classes on and fill out this baby. Which one here? Oh, it's actually this one. This baby of a spreadsheet here for you guys to have as a cheat sheet. This is for me. I'm building this for myself. I was trying to think, what could I do to make my life easier when I'm looking at my commanders, how I want to run them. And I was like, all right, I mean, this looks pretty looks pretty good. If I want to go with this build, I'll just follow these steps. If I want to go with this build, I'll follow these. If I want to decide on the gear, I can just come over here and look at them. Say, okay, I'm going to run this, or this. And then no troops. And any tips, I say, look, this is probably gonna hopefully help the community as well, so might as well share it. We started with Dane and Lurtz. Let's see so far what we have. So 5 responses, and we have so far we got Gandalf the White for the good side, and the Shadow for evil. Okay. I'm going to post this right after we finish the live. So a couple of things. I'll be posting this as well as the access to the main spreadsheet we used today for Dane and for Lurtz. Okay, I'll let you guys know on the calculator as soon as I get a reply. But that's going to do it for me today, guys. A few things before we go. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. It helps a ton. Like Jack said, before posting stuff on YouTube, we wanted to really dive down and understand what we were really getting into. But now we have a pretty long lineup of videos and things to bring out to you. So, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification so that way whenever new videos come out, which ideally they're going to happen quite frequently, like as in daily. Okay? So stay tuned for those videos. If you're new to to this whole community, we have a Discord. Make sure to join. It's in the description, and we'll see you guys in the inside. Everybody, I appreciate you guys being on. Wyman, Adam Mel, has been a while since I've seen you. Logic, Surtur, Alana, Atlas Wolf. I appreciate all you guys being on. Blue Devil. See you guys. Like I said, tomorrow's my son's birthday, so I'll likely not be on. But Wednesday, for sure, we shall be back. Take care, everybody. See you in the next one.